artifacts are big part of Call of Dragons PvP gameplay, and as I have mentioned before, Call of Dragons has a best kingdom builder PvP gameplay which I have ever seen. And as an archer player who played this game for more than 790 days, I will share my thoughts and my ideas regarding archer artifacts, mainly PvP artifacts, right? And I will try my best to explain which hero pairs are good with the artifacts, and in general which artifacts are better than others, right? For that, I'm gonna go here and I will start, right? Let's dive in terms of artifact. First one, which I think every single player gets at the start of the game, if not straight away, at some point you will for sure get it. There's the Shadow Blades, which is gettable from the Gold Keys. One of the most basic legendary artifacts, but basic doesn't mean it's bad. It's pretty good, especially during beginning, right? When there is only basic artifacts. PvP Assault artifact, Marksman unit attack, Legion attack is an archer artifact. The great thing about Shadow Blades is that you can deal damage up to 5 enemy legions. And that's like pure skill damage factor, nothing really surprising, nothing really extraordinary, right? For the hero pairs, it goes same, since it's a basic artifact. Basic heroes are doing really well with the Shadow Blades until you will get even better artifacts, right? And the heroes which Shadow Blades can be used are, of course, the Nico and Kinara hero pair, Gwenwyn, Craig, like any hero pair which you can attach Shadow Blades, basically, it will do fine, right? It doesn't really have like exclusive heroes or like some hero pair which like it's especially great, but it's like medium to everything, which is the normal rate, which is not that impressive, but it's workable when you start the game. That's the main point, right? If you are not having luck in terms of artifacts for archers, of course, if you get Shadow Blades, you will be happy. That's the same thing happened to me, right? The next artifact, which is yet again in the normal opening, which is like a normal keys, Heart of Kamasi, which is much more interesting artifact in my opinion, especially if you are playing the game for a while. It's more of a utility artifact, defensive stats on Legion and Marksman on the stats section. And what's the most interesting about this artifact is, of course, Earthen Judgment, right? Grants your Legion and 2 nearby friendly legions physical keen and onslaught normal attack damage, right? If we can max out this artifact, we can get 30% physical attack and 30% normal attack damage. That's, in my opinion, with my archer gameplay, this is the amazing stats. One of the best stats you can actually get from any artifact, in my opinion, in the whole game. And it's on Heart of Kamasi, right? So basically, this artifact works amazingly well with normal attack hero pairs, such as, for example, Cindrion, Freygar, Magrat, and Zyda, right? Other than that, Heart of Kamasi will be average. Why these heroes? Because, for example, for Magrat and Zyda, the way this hero pair deals damage is by the normal attack. And like physical attack and normal attack damage increase is perfectly fit for this hero pair, right? For the Cindrion and Freygar, this hero pair's main idea is, of course, to deal damage by normal attacks and crits, and plus physical attack damage bonus is pretty good, right? So the pattern is really clear. Heart of Kamasi mainly is great with the normal attack hero pairs, and plus one more thing which we have to mention about Heart of Kamasi is that you can actually use Heart of Kamasi on support gameplay. I generally advise a lot of tier 5 players to play supports, such as Indi Sentara. I attach Indi Sentara Heart of Kamasi, which can buff my 2 other legions. My 2 other legions are Magrat and Zyda and Kinara and Nico. Basically, I think this skill, these talents, like these additional buffs which this skill is giving, is actually great with anything, right? But especially for the normal attackers, which we have to mention especially, right? Maybe in the future we will have more heroes which gonna deal damage by normal attack, and this artifact will be even better. If we're gonna compare the Shadow Blades and Heart of Kamasi, I would rate much higher Heart of Kamasi than Shadow Blades, right? The next artifact is Rattle Spear, and we are starting to go to the place where it's like exclusive artifacts for exclusive heroes, not even to hero pair in some cases. And Rattle Spear is one of them, right? This artifact is PvP Assault artifact, Marksman attack, Legion attack, great stat bonuses for like Assault artifact, of course. And the skill Vicious Strike, there is one good thing about this skill and one bad thing about this skill, right? The skill has a pretty good damage, 2.5k skill damage factor and 20% defense penetration. That's really, really good. Especially if you are generally attacking against infantry players, which we have seen around the battlefield for quite a while, right? The main idea about this artifact is defense penetration and of course quite high amount of skill damage factor. And of course inflicts slow minus 20% for 3 seconds. That's another debuff, and when we're gonna speak about heroes, I'm gonna mention it regarding debuffs, right? The one bad thing about this artifact and the skill of this artifact is generally when you use the artifact like this, you are like standing, freezing, you can't move, and generally when you are fighting, every single second actually counts, and some cavalry and infantry player might catch you, you will be slowed and you might die. That's the reason why my Kinaras are like one of the first hero pairs which are dying. And yeah, in terms of hero pairs, pretty easy to understand. The most important hero for the Rattle Spear is Kinara. Kinara is using the weapon, and not only that, Kinara's main idea is to deal damage by the skill and also defense break and debuffs, right? Defense breaks through the awakening skill, and actually almost every single skill has debuff on Kinara. And Rattle Spear adds additional debuff and additional great defense penetration for the hero, right? Even we can actually speak which hero pairs Rattle Spear will be working well, but generally just put it on Kinara. That's enough. That will be great. That's what it means to have exclusive artifact in this game. And yeah, like for the hero pairs, Kinara Nico, Kinara Sibyl, Kinara Hosk. That's generally the hero pairs which are quite good with the Kinara and primary Kinara control tree. Go for debuffs, but don't expect that Kinara will do highest amount of damage. Kinara's and control trees gameplay is about, with Rattle Spear, is about weakening enemies, so your other damage dealers will do higher damage, right? The next artifact which we are going to speak is, in my opinion, the best artifact for the archers currently in the game. That's Gilded Crossbow, right? And I will try my best to explain why this artifact is the best one. Marksman unit attack, Legion attack, already kinda normal, right, for the offensive artifacts. The Glittering Bolt, the scale deals damage up to 3 legions, and on the maximum scale damage factor is 1.3k. March speed bonus is increased for 50%, and enemy HP bypass is 1.5%, right? You might say, why do you think that this artifact is the best artifact for archers? First of all, it's not attached to any hero, which means it's not exclusive artifact, which means you can use this artifact on every single hero pair in the game. That's a really big plus. Plus, I think enemy HP bypass is amazing skill, especially for archers, which I have been rating amazingly. And plus, you might say March speed bonus might break your March speed with these synced up hero pairs, but honestly, this is a great way to disengage. If you are getting caught and you can use the Glittering Bolt, you will get 50% more March speed, right? And it's quite good, right? I have seen a lot of times on the PvP with myself escaping with this skill. And yeah, that's like great offensive artifact, great defensive artifact if you want to escape. Plus enemy HP bypass is great, and we can deal damage to 3 enemy legions, right? Plus, you can use this artifact on every single hero, but one and most important hero pair for this Glittering Bolt and Gilded Crossbow is, of course, Magrot and Zaida, right? If you want to deal huge amount of damage with the Magrot and Zaida and you want to be more offensive rather than more defensive, Gilded Crossbow, a lot of heals, a lot of damage by normal attack, great way to disengage and engage in some fights, because this artifact will give you quite a good amount of March speed additionally. And yeah, not only because Magrot and Zaida have been the best hero pair in the game in terms of merits, plus this archer artifact have been amazing for this hero pair, and it's like a combination of everything why Magrot and Zaida have been great, and one of them is of course Grounded crossbow. That's like number one artifact so far for archers in this game, right? The next artifact which I want to speak in terms of archers is of course Gold Crest. This artifact could be number one, but it has some weakness, and I'm gonna mention that weakness, right? Offensive artifact, marksman unit attack, legion attack, but we have a control, and control is the skill, right? Shadow Flight, skill damage factor 2.8k. Legion gains haste, march speed increase, and that's quite good for same reason why it was good for the Gilded Crossbow. But we have one bad aspect. This is exclusive artifact for the Freygar, so in order for us to fully utilize Gold Crest, we have to have Freygar, right? When Freygar is in your Legion, casting artifact skill deals additional damage. The target Legion is also immobilized, cannot move for 3 seconds. This immobilized is really good. That's like amazing skill to engage, to disengage. Like it gives this artifact even better ways of fighting against stronger members, like enemies, right? And yeah, like effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds, right? But the beauty and the weakness of this artifact is that you kinda have to have Freygar in your march, and in my opinion, artifact can be the number one and the best one if it's exclusive to one hero, right? And of course, for the heroes, it's exclusive artifact for Freygar. And yeah, the best hero pair for Freygar is of course Syndron and Freygar with the Gold Crest. Quite a good hero pair, especially if you are beginner in season 2. Whenever this hero pair comes out, they are pretty strong. But I would not really put the Syndron and Freygar as a number one best hero pair in the game when we have Magrot and Zaida, right? That's why the level of Gold Crest in terms of my rating kind of fell off, because it's an exclusive artifact for Freygar. The Viola's Bro is really kinda not natural artifact for, if you're gonna compare other legendary ones. It's a marksman unit HP and legion HP artifact. I generally really rate HP buffs in Call of Dragons, especially for archers, and not only even for archers, right? Deals diffuse damage up to 5 enemy legions, which is already great. 5 enemy legions, and damage legions are sealed, cannot cast artifact skill for 10 seconds. That's amazing if you are playing with support gameplay, which I am. Unfortunately, I don't have Viola's Bow. If I had, I would 100% use it on my Indie Centaura, because the 5 legions silence, just basically a silence, that's really good, right? I wouldn't really put this artifact on like more offensive hero pairs. Maybe on Kinara, if I don't have Rattle Spear, can be also workable, and also for Sibyl, like more of a control hero pairs, right? Because control hero pairs are there to give debuff, and Viola's Bow's main idea is to give debuff, right? We have one more artifact which is left, and that's of course the newest artifact, Iron Tusk. You might say why I did not mention Iron Tusk as the best artifact. For same reason, Iron Tusk is exclusive, and let me explain why, right? Marksman unit attack, legion attack, offensive artifact, normal stats. Rapid salvo, let's check, deals damage to 5 enemy legions, that's a big plus. And why it's exclusive, right? Additional effect. When a penetrating bolt deals damage, the Wilder deals 10% more hero skill damage for 10 seconds, right? It doesn't really say any single hero pair or hero, but it says penetrating bolt, and only hero which deals damage by penetrating bolt. That's of course Fulgrim, right? Fires a penetrating bolt that deals physical damage to the target legion. So basically this artifact, which is Iron Tusk, is exclusive artifact for the Fulgrim, because you generally want to get these additional effects, because it's pretty huge, right? 10% hero skill damage, when Fulgrim's main idea is to deal damage by the skill. This like 10% is quite a lot of number for hero skill damage increases, right? Unfortunately, it's only for Fulgrim. Maybe in the future we're gonna have more heroes which gonna deal damage by the penetrating bolt, but so far only hero which we have with the Fulgrim is is a Fulgrim with the penetrating bolt, right? In terms of heroes, pretty easy to understand. Fulgrim and Nico can be really good hero pair with the Iron Tusk. Also Fulgrim and Sibyl, which I think is nice, not that great. I think Sibyl have other hero pairs which can do well, and Fulgrim also, right? Generally, the Iron Tusk is exclusively connected to the Iron Tusk with the Fulgrim, so I would advise, if you have Iron Tusk, just use it on Fulgrim. It will give a pretty good buff, which will help you, right? If I would rate all of these artifacts one more time, what would I have done? Well, in my opinion, the best artifact, as I have mentioned, is of course Scalded Crossbow, because of it being such a universally good artifact. I would put Gold Crest as a second place, at Heart of Kamasi as third. Of course, if you are Kinara player, number one priority is to get Rattle Spear. That's why rating artifacts is really hard, because exclusive artifacts are exclusively amazingly good for one hero, right? Such as Rattle Spear and for the Kinara, and for example Gold Crest and Freygar. For the Gold Crest, the skill is just amazing, right? It's really hard, like for example, Galded Crossbow is number one for sure in my opinion. Top 3 for me is like Galded Crossbow and Heart of Kamasi. And yeah, you decide, you want to put Rattle Spear there, you want to put Gold Crest, or you want to put Iron Tusk. That's your decision. That will be like third place. That's my experience and my opinions regarding Archer artifacts. Hope it was interesting, because I think artifacts are one of the most amazing things about this game, because of the ways how the artifacts are changing the gameplay and the words and how fun it makes in general Call of Dragons gameplay. If you like the video, as always, press like, subscribe and share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.